So there's something I heard said a lot on the internet, and that's that Disney ruined Star Wars, which I always found kind of funny to hear, because implied in that statement is that Star Wars was in good shape before Disney got there. But it wasn't Disney that ruined Star Wars. It wasn't George Lucas with his shitty prequels that ruined Star Wars.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
In reality, it was you, the Star Wars fans, that ruined Star Wars. Now, how did you do that, you might ask? Where am I coming from? Well, it's pretty simple. Let's go back to 1999, shall we? And episode 1 is coming out. You Star Wars fans lined up around the block to go see it, and this movie made $1 kajillion. And I understand that, because you'd been waiting for years and years and years to see a new Star Wars movie. And boom, there it is. And it sucked. It sucked balls. It was awful.
You might not have even noticed, but your brain did.
And yet, you guys were defending it for like 6 months after it came out. 6 months to a year, I remember you Star Wars fans defending it. At least the Star Wars fans I knew. You know, I was still in high school at the time. All the Star Wars fans I knew were like, no, it's actually really good. And I heard somebody actually tell me the pod race was like Ben-Hur. Go fuck yourself, buddy. What the hell? But you guys defended this movie. Finally, you admitted that it sucked. And we all moved on. But then episode 2 comes out. And I guess I can kind of understand going to see this one, because it's like, you know, maybe the last one was just a fluke. You know, one bad movie shouldn't make you give up on a series. I get it. Well, episode 2 sucked. Episode 2 arguably sucked worse, because it was boring. I mean, at least shit happened in episode 1. What the fuck happened in episode 2? Yeah. So, episode 2 sucked. Then a couple of years go by, and episode 3 comes out. And you would think, at this point, 2 shitty movies in a row, that you would be approaching this movie with, at best, cautious optimism. But that's not what I saw. I saw you all lined up around the fucking block like this movie was going to be the greatest thing in the world, and it sucked. It was better than the last 2, certainly, but that's like saying herpes is better than catching AIDS. They're both pretty bad, but at least episode 3 can be suppressed with treatment. So, 3 shitty Star Wars movies in a row, and you all lined up around the block for all 3 in a row. Not learning. Years go by, and boom, here we are with Disney. Having bought the franchise, going to start up a new trilogy of Star Wars movies. Okay, well, I mean, say what you will about Disney, but at least it's fresh blood. I can understand saying, well, maybe this is going to be okay. Maybe this is going to be good again. And episode 7 was horrendous. In my opinion, it's worse than the prequels. It's just awful. I mean, at least the prequels are trying. Like, you give the prequels an F because they fail. But at least they were trying. I can't even give episode 7 an F. I got to give that an incomplete. So, you know what I did after episode 7? I just said, guess what? I'm not going to go see another fucking Star Wars movie in the theater. 4 shitty movies in a row. How many chances am I supposed to give this franchise? That's not what you guys said, though, was it? Because y'all lined up around the block for fucking episode 8, didn't you? Episode 8 made $1 bajillion fucking dollars. And now you're all bitching about how unbelievably bad episode 8 is. And oh, it's this franchise is just so ruined. But you know what? I'm not buying it from you guys. Because I think when episode 9 comes out, you idiots are going to be lined up around the fucking block for it. Because y'all are like a battered wife. Alright? No matter how many times this franchise pops you in the mouth, you're like, no, no, no. Star Wars really loves me. It just had a bad day at work. And you're never going to learn. And you're going to keep watching these movies till the end of time, no matter how bad they get. And that makes you worse than other fan bases in my mind. Because, like, I'm a superhero fan. I love me some superhero comics. I love me some superhero movies. Did I go see Justice League in the theater? No, because it looked like shit. And I knew it was going to be nothing but a massive cluster fucking disappointment. Did I go see, I don't know, like, Suicide Squad in the theater? No, because it looked like shit. Did I go see Black Panther in the theater? No, because it looked like shit. And I'm fresh out of white guilt, so I didn't go see Black Panther in the theater. Because while I love superhero movies, I have no interest in watching shitty ones. Because I have some fucking self-respect and some taste about it. Likewise, I mean, you could talk about how cringy Star Trek fans are, but I don't hear any Star Trek fans. I've never heard a Star Trek fan defend Star Trek the Motion Picture. Not that I can remember. I've never heard one defend Star Trek V, other than maybe say, well, it had a few good ideas, but it was completely botched. Nobody tells you to go see these like they're good fucking movies, because they're not. Most other fan bases seem to have at least the self-awareness to admit when the thing they like starts to suck balls. You Star Wars fans, you don't seem to have that. And that's why Star Wars sucks. Because why wouldn't it? Why shouldn't it? If they produce like 4 or 5 or 6 shitty movies in a row and y'all keep going to see it, well, the people making these movies, they just have to assume at a certain point that's what you want. If no matter how many times this franchise shits directly in your mouth, you line up around the block and beg for more next time, at a certain point, I mean, yeah, I guess the studios are just going to assume that's what you want. At a certain point, I have to assume that's what you want. Your bitching notwithstanding. Because you keep going to see it. What do I see all the time? Like, oh, there's a Han Solo movie coming out. People are like, well, I'm going to give it a chance. Why are you going to give it a chance? Why are you going to spend all this money and go to the theater to give it a chance when this franchise has, at least as a movie series, I know there's all the extra expanded universe comic books and video games and shit like that, that a lot of that's been good. That's fine. But at least as a movie series, it hasn't been good since 1983. So why are you still going to see it? So you know what? You could sit here and bitch about how Disney ruined Star Wars. You could say George Lucas ruined Star Wars, but you know what? That's wrong. You want to know who ruined Star Wars? You look in the mirror. And you look at the guy, the idiot, who bought ticket after ticket for shitty ass movie after shitty ass movie. That's who ruined Star Wars. That's all I got for now, folks. MacLeod out.